Jungle Boy. Now, have you heard that? I'm sorry, I'm going to call you Aaron one time and Damien the next. Which one do you prefer?
I've had many more names than that. I will answer to all of them. It's all good. What did Jungle Boy do?
So there was a convention the weekend before last, and quite a few people had written into Jim Cornette's podcast and said that there'd been reports that Jungle Boy was maybe less friendly than he could have been. And then there was a Q&A where he was rather almost belligerent of some people's questions. And then one person asked, who would you go to advice for to put a match together? And he said that the person he went to more than anyone else, apart from saying that people about his age and his style, he said the one person who helped him put his match together was Luchasaurus. And then he said he would definitely not go to Billy Gunn for advice, who is a current agent producer there, because he loses his mind every single time Jungle Boy goes to him and suggests a Canadian destroyer.
So he didn't respect Billy Gunn at all.
Apparently not. No.
Well, Jungle Boy should know he needs to be a little more political when he speaks of guys that he works with in public. And I know Billy. Billy has a little bit of a hot temper. And I would hate to be around them in a dressing room setting when Billy Gunn cuts loose on him. Billy Gunn is like, I don't know how old he is. He's well into his 50s.
Yeah, he's late 50s.
It doesn't matter.
Look at the shape.
It does not matter.
No, look at the shape he's in. And I would advise Jungle Boy to keep a low profile. I mean, I'm not there. But Billy Gunn has a little bit of a temper too. What would you say, Aaron?
I'll say this. Since I got back into wrestling, and I only took a couple of years off, but it was like the generations changed hands to where, a lot of the people, they view the business differently. And I don't think respect is something, and I'm not one of these people that say, oh, you have to respect someone because they've been doing this longer than you. No. Respect them if they're a good person. Respect them if they have accomplished what you would like to accomplish. And Billy Gunn is as big of a star as you can be, in my opinion. I mean, look at the career he's had over the length of time he's had. I've wrestled him several times. I'm very friendly with him. Like if I saw him, we would give each other the hug and talk and catch up. And again, as a professional, I could not respect him more than I do. And if it's like the movie 300, right? When Leonidas says, here, each man is responsible for his own words and actions, right? If Jungle Boy wants to go to someone that hasn't been doing this that long or has had the international stardom as other people have, and by the way, in AEW, when they say, and then this should be what everyone says, in my opinion, who do you go to put your match together? We have Arn Anderson, Dean Malenko, Jerry Lynn, Billy Gunn, people who have done this and are incredible at it. And if you go to people more your contemporaries, look, you're welcome to do that. And I'm not criticizing anyone, but understand if you've been on TV for years and you have not progressed, if you are like this going stagnant, or if you have lightning in a bottle, and I've seen this happen with people, they have lightning in the bottle and they're here. And then they don't know, once any idiot can get over. It takes a professional to stay over. Can you maintain their interests? Can you do this? And again, this is nothing, I'm not criticizing one person in particular. This is nothing against Jungle Boy because, again, I just don't watch the product. I haven't seen where he is or anything like that. I've met him a few times. Very, very nice kid. I'll be honest. But again, if he wants to go to certain people, great. And you know what? We will all bear the fruits of our labor, right? So it's one thing or another. And if I was him, I would go to Billy Gunn. And if someone told me something I didn't want to do, my first instinct would not be, no, and then avoid the situation. Be, okay, why? I am genuinely interested. Why someone like you that has been doing this for so long, why do you believe this? Teach me so that I can learn and then make a decision there for myself one way or another as a grown man. My opinion, I know it was long-winded, but.
No, I mean, a good point. But I think that is the prevailing attitude in AEW, or from what I'm reading. Hangman Page, he says the same thing. He said, I don't need to go to anybody else. I do it all myself. So if they want to do that, that's fine. But they're going to reach a plateau where they don't know what to do. But not necessarily in their work, in their stories, is what I'm saying. That's what's going to keep it going. But your story, your work has to reflect the story. But anyway, I'm talking.
It's one thing to, yeah, right. Because as we know, Dutch, and again, if anyone is listening to this and they don't know what you and I are going to talk about right now, guess what? They ain't as good as they thought. When you're wrestling, it's not just go to the building and, all right, who am I working and what high spots do I want to do and this and that. No. You have to put a match together thinking, where are we going to be 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks from now? And how does everything from the way I walk to the ring to how long I choose to get heat on a guy, like, you have to factor all that stuff in. And then, again, if you're not thinking like that, you're playing checkers. No matter which way you cut it, you can be using the fanciest checkerboard possible, but you're playing checkers when there's other people that know how to play chess. And if you want to learn, you should maybe listen to them.
You know, you can comment on this. I'm telling guys, when you go to the ring, that's your first exposure to a live crowd in that building. Yeah. Read the room. Let them tell you what to do. If you get a lot of heat, you know it's going to be easy. If you don't get much, well, now you got to work at it. But you got to be like that comedian on stage. You got to walk around the stage. And I've heard comedians tell me, you got to find the hot corner. I don't know. And when you find that, now you got to work on it. But crowds are different. Some guys can read crowds and some guys can't.
Because they're not thinking about the crowd. It's about them.
No. Well, I've seen a lot of guys, I've talked about this too, they work for the dressing room. They don't work for the people out. They want to do this crazy spot, which I guess looks good. It won't draw you a dime. It won't advance the story. But when he gets back in, can you still hear me, Aaron?
I can still hear you. You good?
Yeah. Okay.
Oh my God, he's disappeared.
Oh God.
1 sec, I'm pausing the recording. There we go, a phone call and a misbehaving dog there. All sorted now?
Uh-huh. Oh yeah, we're good.
Right, I'll say my piece. So I put something on Twitter yesterday saying about, I heard the Jim Cornette clip talking about he got several emails, and then I was at this convention as well, and I said, I was with my friend, I wasn't wearing my glasses. My friend had to tell me that Jungle Boy was sat about 15 feet away from me, just at a table, doing that basically, trying to be like as small as possible and not like be seen. Now, some people have said, well, he deals with a lot of anxiety, and that's absolutely fine if you do, and it's a problem, but it sort of doesn't also excuse the Q&A where he wasn't. I don't know. I've suffered from anxiety in years gone by, like horribly. I've never lashed out at Billy Gunn, not once. So I don't quite get the sort of anxiety defense on that one, Dutch.
Well, from what I read about that same convention you went to, he wasn't very friendly to people. And that's part of it. If you go to a convention, it's naturally assumed that you're going to be nice to people, friendly to people, sign autographs, shake hands, take pictures. But they said he was not a perfect guest in that situation. Now, I don't know about the Billy Gunn situation. I hope it improves. And I've said this about Tony Khan before, that he needs to step in and be a boss and tell these guys to get along, because that can only hurt business.
I'd like to ask a question to both of you, actually. Now, you've when you were both in your mid-20s, early 20s, did you sort of have that same mindset of veterans are trying to tell you what to do, and you thought, Well, what do they know? They're old now, that kind of thing. No?
No. Not the guys I was around.
Yeah.
Because they'd slap the shit out of you if they got you in the ring and you didn't listen. And I don't blame them. I tried to bill this guy, and he'd been, I don't know, he was an old-time veteran. I tried to bill him out of the corner, but I put my hand right under here, and I pushed him. But I was trying to push him. Before I even got there, he slapped me. We got back in the dressing room, and I says, "You okay?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "Let me tell you something. Don't you ever, ever try to do that move with just putting your hand underneath my armpit." He said, "That hurts, and I'm not going for it." And then he showed me how to do it. You put the whole arm in there, then you throw me. And it makes sense. And guess what? I never, ever did it again. Mm-hmm. For young talent that are trying to learn the business, not talking to the experienced, seasoned talent, doesn't make a lot of sense to me. That's how you learn.